Are we live? Yes, we are live. So there was no announcement. There was no pre-post of this anywhere. So we're here right now, and this is Uche and Joku. I'm here with my brother. This way. Oh, hold up. How come I got I got no audio on you? One second. The hell? Oh, he's gone. He should be back shortly. Again, this is Uche and Joku, sneaker principal, and my brother Archie Tyson's audio went out. He's coming back in right now. He, and I'm going to add him right now.
I'm
Here
back.
we go.
AT
Here we go.
is
Here we go. Here we
back
go.
in the house. Different day, same drama, different time. You know what I'm saying? Brothers, different mamas. we here. The hood rats of the Ivy League kind. You know what I'm saying?
All right, here we go. You know what? I think that was on me. I just realized I had you on, so we could talk to each other, but I didn't have you on the actual production tool so everybody else could see you. So my
No,
my
no,
bad for
no.
that.
Don't worry.
You
It
know,
happens to me. It happens to
I
me all the time.
I was
They
I was
try.
showing my brother here that I was late jumping on because I was disciplining, with love, my daughter. She put that kung fu grip on her little brother. I was like, yo, you gonna break his arm. But she's 4.5. She doesn't know any better. She just want her ball back. So that was a huge distraction for me getting this together, but it is the job.
I appreciate her wanting to get her ball back by any means necessary. You know, they say if what do they say? What did the grandmother say on Downton Abbey? And somebody just said, Did he watch Downton Abbey? Yes, I watched all of Downton
That's on
Abbey.
my list. It's actually on my list. I need the space and time to actually engage in that show.
You should watch Downton Abbey and Bridgerton at the same time. Don't become an Anglophile, but grandmother said, "Hey, try reason. If reason doesn't work, try force." So she might have went with reason and then went with force, and
Nah, she she,
hey,
she did it backwards. She went straight to she went straight to
she
force.
went straight to force.
She's like, that's my ball.
Want my ball, and I'm gonna get my ball. Yeah, but
This-
what we were saying, the importance of fathering and just making sure that the household is good and teaching them the right way and watching over the flock. That's just that
It's
means
essential.
everything to me. I think
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels was always controversial to so many ladies and all that. And I'm not going to get into all that because I know I can be controversial and people have worked to silence and counsel me and yada, yada, yada. I don't even know what counsel is. But when he said to, I think, a young lady that uh, generate like money is not generational wealth, the family is generational wealth. Looking back, I think to my grandfather's passing and being able to, be have your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, and your great great grandkids there. That's generational wealth, and you can really die
Facts.
a happy man or a happy woman, or like it's just that means everything. So I always say to my employees, teachers, everything, family is always first. Period. Like make sure that your kids and your offspring are good, thriving, and doing well. I don't know which, because they always say African proverb as if Africa is a country. So I need to figure out what my brother from Nigeria, help me out. Which one? When they say the children, how are the children doing? And we always ask how the children are doing. As long as the children are doing well, and we're well. I don't even know what
That's
local
even,
country and or
and I'll
tribe
tell
that
you
comes from.
this: it's multiple tribes. I would say I'm comfortable saying multiple tribes adhere to that, but I know Igbos. Okay. I'm gonna go into my Igbo-ness. The Igbo people say when you see a man's children, a man's wife and children, then you know his wealth. And we're not talking about how many wives you have, or how many kids you have. What if you see a man's wife and children, and they're good and they're well taken care of, then you see the man's wealth. You see who he is as a man. So
Yep.
we always ask, first of all, how are the children, how are the wife and children, how's the family? First thing you ask,
Yeah.
because that is the foundation of everything. If you don't have that, then who are you?
'Cause and not no knock on anyone. Some people are like, oh, I don't want kids, and no knock on anyone. But I'm just
No.
saying, like that sounds great until you're 60, and you know, you don't want to go ripping around the streets. What you really want to do is sit and have a drink with your son, and look and hold your little grandson. Like, it's just it's again, family just means everything. And maybe we need to plaster that and get billboards. I always one of my cousins, I ain't calling no names, but like, yo, you can't be running around here claiming you hot boy fresh to death, and then your wife and kid, running around here looking raggedy. No, 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 no.
No.
Right? They just don't, it doesn't work like that. Like, they don't have to downgrade. They got to get what you get, and it just is what it is. So I don't know.
And you know what though? Let's keep on this track right here because I think this is something that's very, very important. Like, I mean, you've had an illustrious career working in schools. You know, you've seen it all. I would say illustrious because you've made an impact. So you've made an impact. That's plain simple. Because an illustrious career in education is that you still, nobody got to tell you. You know what you did. Your thumbprint has been on the lives of people.
And I don't need an award.
You don't need an award for it. You know what I'm saying?
Awards or trophies.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Never.
But one of the things I know that I've seen and has always bothered me is, when a parent comes into the school, for whatever reason, and I see the child, then I see the parent, and parent is Gucci down, just looking fly, and the child looks like that's not even their child. And that's always bothered me because, again, going back to that proverb, show me the man's or the woman's children and family, then that tells me everything about that person. And so often, we, is this new mentality where we do for ourselves first before we do for our children or we do for our families.
Let me say that.
Yeah.
I'm not buying children messy asses, no Gucci.
No. But
clarify to anybody listening.
No. I'm not. Okay.
That's not what my brother
Let me take that back. I wasn't mean about when I say Gucci down, I'm talking about maybe. Okay. What I'm talking about is you are put together. Your child is in tattered clothing or looks like they haven't been cared for. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, you could go to Walmart and keep your children looking clean.
Target, Walmart, H&M, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but
you
I'm
can
talking
go
about
to
the
the
whole
Goodwill
notion.
store and have them looking clean. You just shouldn't have them out here looking unkept and raggedy. Like, make sure your son's hair is cut. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure they looking good. Don't let them out. Like, I iron all of my kids' clothes for school. Their uniforms, I iron the uniforms. Me personally. Why? Because, hey, I don't want them to go out the house looking wrinkled, ashy. For any white listeners, ashy is a condition that happens to people of color, in particular Black people, where our skin appears to
that hard water from the faucet,
water crust. Yes, it can be. It can be. I don't want to say cured because there's no panacea. We're breaking out words today.
You keep doing that to them, bro.
There's no cure-all for this.
Pull out your thesaurus.
However, some lotion, some petroleum jelly, cocoa butter, mango butter, shea butter. It's like all type of butters will, oils will help you. Like, all that will help you. If you had a grandmother didn't have all that, you might just get some bacon grease or some lard on there. Go to school smelling like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. But guess what? You weren't ashy. Yeah. I'm sorry if some people didn't know what we were talking about. I would ask you. I just had to go on a comment because my daughter did a fashion show on Friday, and if she will leave the house ashy if we let her, we can't do it like that because she's our baby and we love her. And again, it is a direct reflection upon us. Like, don't let your kids out the house looking unkept. So we're not saying go spend Gucci money or Louis Vuitton money because kids are nasty, terrible, and they don't appreciate that, and they will tear it up, paint in it, roll around the dirt in it. But that does mean if you got a Walmart outfit, cool. Target out, cool, get it off of clearance like I do, but make sure they're looking good and well kept, right? If
Yeah,
they
be
got, if you
conscious of
got them
that.
some little Jordans, if you clean your Jordans, clean their Jordans too. Period.
Yeah. I was scrubbing my daughter got a little her little my daughter does pink. Everything gotta be pink. Everything gotta be
Yeah,
pink.
pink
She's
babies.
going I'm like people tell me that's a phase. I'm like, that's been since birth. But from birth she was like pink. So she got some pink NMDs, Adidas. So guess what I'm doing? I'm there scrubbing with the
Oh
foam,
yeah,
you know, because she be dragging her feet through the playground. You know, that pink looks more like a brown. But again, for me, I'm thinking to myself, like, not only that, it also minimizes the chance of her being bullied by other kids who might say, "Oh, look at your shoes," or whatever the case may be, you know. But the thing that just being conscious of that is something that's very, very important. And too often, and again, people go through things, you know. But I'll tell you this: in Igbo culture, in African culture, that's something that's very, very important. You want to see somebody get insulted. I've seen people get insulted because of how their children and their wives are being kept. You know, and I mean it's a commonplace. It's not a Western thing. Western thing is all about the individual and the self. But in Africa,
yeah.
it's all about the family. Plain and simple. Plain and
Now,
simple.
now, I will say this: dirty, dusty sneakers. Unless you at football practice, soccer practice, and even then, we used to clean our shoes up with it. Like dirty sneakers don't work
Yo,
in black communities around the world. I
you
have
will
been,
be
I
you
have
will
been
be
to various
abused.
black communities. We don't care. We gonna look down at your feet. For I remember when we first met, that's one of the things you said to me. It's like, yo, my father said, this is what you said to me. My father said, like, what a man has on his feet. I don't know if you said matters, but something like what you talked about, like having something like, I don't care if you still in your Oxfords and Bros phase. I don't care if you in your Jordans and you in your sneakerhead phase. I don't care if you in your flip flop Birkenstock phase. I don't care if you in your, watch out, square toe gators, rainbow color. What's up, Detroit? Where y'all at, baby? What's up,
Yo, what's up,
Kansas City?
Yeah,
Where
nah.
y'all
What's
at,
up,
baby?
Inglewood, California? That
What's
that
up,
gator pimping.
Inglewood? What up, Mississippi? What up, Shreveport, Louisiana? All my
You got the
people
hush
in the
puppies on.
lollipop color square toe gators. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Nah, nah,
like
nah, 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 nah. The
it
Stacy,
matters
the
though.
Stacy Adams.
The Stacey
Stacy
Adams.
Adams.
If you in my daddy generation, them knob toe Stacey Adams, the burgundy
Oh
ones, you
wow.
couldn't tell him nothing back in, I think, in 1980 when he had a new Lincoln and some
you
knob
said
toe
you
Stacey
said
Adams.
you said 1980.
1980, my daddy was driving around a two-door
Oh
black
man.
and chrome Lincoln Mark Continental, right?
Oh
I'm talking
snap.
about clean. I'm talking about
Yes.
knob toe
He
Stacey
had he had
Adams
the, he had
burgundy.
the spoke rims on there.
Nah, he went. Oh yeah, oh yeah. He went. He went. That's why I said. My mama said we came home in car seats. Ain't no way. My dad ain't no way. My daddy let car seats go. His car- my daddy, my daddy retired. My daddy retired. Right. He not a man who made tons of money, but he's just like his cars. It doesn't matter if it was a raggedy car, it was his baby. But now he has a vet. Oh,
Wow.
that vet, that's his. Oh, you can. I can go lick that car right now and it's gonna be clean, right? But you know what I'm saying. So I just getting back to this, like again, I remember when you said your dad's like man, what he got on his feet matter. I don't care if they're raggedy. I bet you can shine them up though, and
Yeah.
keep them clean and looking good, right? It don't. You ain't got to go to the cobbler. So when you say you scrubbing your baby shoes, I'm
Wait,
just like,
wait,
yeah,
wait,
I
would
gotta
you,
scrub my.
no, no, no. You just said another word, another SAT word. Cobbler.
That's not an SAT word.
Yo, bro, yo,
Well, I mean,
you know, a lot of
I,
people do not know what a cobbler is.
so with anti-intellectualism in America that runs out of control because like we're a country where it's literally you like people think that when you say oh you smart or you say like we consider that like an insult like what type of country are we that like being smart intelligent and showing like is insulting to people or supposed to be offensive. So anti-intellectualism is crazy, but for those who don't know, a shoe cobbler, someone that you take shoes to repair leather shoes. They can resole your shoes. That's how you know when you got good dress shoes. When you got good stuff is when shoes can be resold, reshine, rethreaded, right? And your brogues, when they turn around and they have to redo your stitching, because you know what I'm saying, good shoes, the leather not gonna go out. Y'all go and get them little shoes. This I got shoes that I still got from high school. I don't wear everything because I'm on my like I just I'm that's I'm wearing my Jordans and sneakers and all that stuff because I just don't care. But I'm saying like, yeah, a cobbler. You can take your Jordans to a cobbler. You see them folks online when they're cleaning and getting the soles right, and then like. So your cobbler is just a shoe repair person. It's like a mechanic for shoes. They get you
Yeah.
back reconditioned. That shine, and it's not the same as a shoe shine man or a
No,
shoe
it's
shine
not the
woman.
same.
Shoe shine, they'll beam you up like a mirror. A cobbler can shine your stuff, but a cobbler repair stuff. It's kind of like the difference between an optometrist and an ophthalmologist. Uh-oh.
God, man, you just killed him. You just killed him again.
Let me make it simpler. A dentist and an oral surgeon, right? They both work in the mouth, but like, you
Dentist,
know,
orthodontist.
doing cleanings and doing fillings, that's so yeah. But bottom line is, when you say you scrubbing your baby shoes, I'm like, me too. Why? Because I'm like, I don't want them walking
Got to.
around
Got
with
to.
dusted. It matters because when somebody look down, they're like, okay,
Nah,
all right,
listen. To this day, if you if you ever meet me in person, the first thing I can't help it. I'm not trying to insult you. First thing I do is look at your feet. It's not. It has nothing to do with sneakers or anything like that. It's just a habit because it's funny. I'll see somebody this sharp, nice suit, nice tie, bow tie, got the lapel pin on, everything, and I look at the shoes and I'm like, what? Yo, just take a brush, some kiwi polish, and just buff it out. Buff it out. It don't gotta be shiny. Just clean your. But again, I think it's also part of we're part of a generation, or maybe that last generation, where that was a thing, where you you buffed out your shoes. I just picked up a pair of shoes yesterday from the cobbler. That's why I was laughing, because I was at the cobbler yesterday picking up a pair of my slip-ons that I had to get repaired. Great leather, but the sole, had to be
yeah,
fixed.
stuff has to get resold and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, and we talked about this before on podcasts, like, as I say, all these little bougie principals and educators that's so far out of touch, like, that don't understand the importance of. Remember the article I sent you? I forgot who wrote it about black boys and their connection to sneakers and
Yeah,
why it matters, and how we should be embracing that as opposed to trying to weed it out of them. Because I'm just like, I feel like some of these cats get in positions, they become chief of staff or chief of schools, or they the principal, or they the superintendent, and like they forget what it was like to be that first dude at school with the new J's, or when them Jason Kidd Zooms dropped, or you know what I'm saying, or them Iverson answers hit, or them Grant Hill Felines hit, the one with the like pad leather that went out. Like, they forget what it was like to be that first dude, right? Or that first crew at school with it, and what it felt like. And I know it's all the bullying talk and all that, but let me just articulate this. For a black boy coming up in the hood, right, and you ain't have much, but just that one shot, and I don't care if the shoes was hot as a firecracker, y'all read into that. I don't care if they came off the train by the Walter Simmons Projects in Memphis, Tennessee. Walter Simmons Project's not even there no more. They tore them down. I'm shout out Dudes, everybody out there.
Nike
Memphis, but
Nike probably was like, they gotta go.
they gotta go. They got like, but I don't care how you got them, whatever. If you waited in line, like, and this is before mass internet shoes, like now you
Yeah,
can get every color Jordan and go on StockX. We ain't had no StockX, so we had to wait in line. We had to figure it out, right? But to be the first dude there, or the first crew there with that new heat, like, you were like a god at the school or in the hood. But for a few moments, somebody else might walk in there behind you, but they weren't the first, right? Somebody else might come with some clean, but they ain't got that heat you got, right? And to have that moment, even if it's for 6 minutes, if it's for 30 seconds, God forbid it's the whole. Don't mess around and have, because they used to release the shoes in New York and Chicago, so or LA. Y'all got all the hot stuff.
Yeah.
Like if somebody went to Chicago for a
Or you had a cousin or somebody who blessed you,
who blessed you and sent them down south. Oh my God! Like you were literally you were a god walking around on the face of the earth for a few minutes, and forget whether your friend. And I mean, this gonna sound depressing. Forget whether your friend got murdered, because it happens.
Yeah.
Forget whether you barely got good teacher in the classroom. Forget whether, what I'm saying, somebody mama passed away of an OD, right? Forget all the crazy stuff that's going on in the hood. For a few minutes, you was above all of that, and your stature was solid platinum. You ain't need no chain. You ain't need no human leash. You just need that clean pair of sneakers. And when your foot, you would put them in a bag. And we done walked to school barefoot. Socks black as I'll get up. Take the socks out. Walk to school barefoot. Wash your feet out. Or you're going to be duck walking all the way to school. But to be that dude for a few minutes, it was everything. And some of these dudes don't forgot what that feeling feels like. And they forgot that because they spent so much of their time trying to fit in or trying to assimilate as much cultural capital as possible.
Exactly.
As if the Columbia Club or the Preston Club will ever truly accept you. But you forgot that stepping in with a new pair, man. I know I'm rattling, but you remember when you picked me up from class and we was going to the salsa spot. I think you had a partner from your school there, and as soon as I pulled up, the first thing he said was, "Ooh, I see you with them hot ass sapphires on." That's when them pink joy. He's like, "Where you even get them from?" He's like, "Cause those sold out so quick. Where you even get like?" For a minute, just for a mere minute, I was on God status again. It doesn't matter if you're old head, no matter how much money you make, fat, black, and ugly. It's like when people acknowledge you. I did it to a dude in the airport. That dude, man, I could tell he felt. I was like, "Ooh, those things." Now he was like, "Oh yeah." Like, don't forget your youth. Don't forget to laugh and smile. But I hate when cats get so divorced from just the daily, the ground, the feeling. I wish I could give you that feeling that they caught up in this world of, let me try and break black boys and break black girls.
They're breaking culture. They're breaking who we are.
And make them something that they're never going to be fully a part of, because as soon as they hit a drum beat, and you know what I'm saying, like as soon as I don't care what, as soon as they hit a drum beat, something about that gonna pull them back. And like to remember like the moments when you was that dude, like why would you ever want to give that feeling up?
So check this out. So I just wrapped up my first week as principal in the South Bronx of my new school. It's a middle school, and my first day, this young man, I rocked it was the white camo dunks. You know what I'm saying? White camo dunks, and of course, it's intentional because I'm like, yo, I'm gonna walk in there like a soldier with some fly kicks on, right? And this kid walked up to me. He was like, yo, mister, those are hot. And he was like, yo, you like sneakers? I'm like, bro, I'm a sneaker principal. So he was like, oh, word? He's like, how many pairs you got? I'm like, he don't want to know. I don't want to. So he was like, we had a little conversation about sneakers. He's a seventh grader. We had a conversation about sneakers. Again, this allowed me to build a relationship with this young man.
Yep.
Okay. But not only that, other kids start to gather around our conversation. Check this out. The next day, which was my first morning, welcoming kids to the building as the principal. I'm standing at the door, and of course, walking towards me is this young man. I looked at his feet. He had a pair of Jordan 1 Gammas on. Jordan 11 Gammas on. And the funny thing is, these are not Jordan 11s you're going to see too often, because I don't think they were ever re-released. So
he brought them out for you.
So he un-DS'd them. So those of you who don't know, dead stock. It was dead stock, brand new. He took him like for somebody to take a pair of shoes and put it in your feet. It has to be a special occasion.
Oh
He
yeah.
wore them, and I saw him. I was like, "Ooh!" I was like, "Oh, you got the Gammas on?" And I told him like, "Yo, I'm eyeing a pair because I used to have a pair of them that I sold, and I regretted selling those pair. But right now they're like $400-500. So I'm like, I don't know. So he says, "Yeah, Mister," and you can see in his face, he was so proud of himself.
Yeah, he was.
Like shoulders was up. Like he was a god.
Yeah,
And I was just an ant in his universe at that moment in time.
he knew when you saw he again to pull them out, having worn them, because like my birthday, like I had to pull some out that I hadn't worn. Like it's got to be an occasion, and this ain't the first day of school, right? But he met his new principal, and he said, "Oh, this man sees us. He sees me. He's like, I may not have the best grades. I don't know him, but like he sees us, right?" And so he broke them out, boy, because he knew when he stepped foot up there with those shoes on, and you saw him, you was gonna go ape shit. You wasn't gonna you couldn't go completely crazy, but he knew you was gonna do this right
Oh,
here.
yo, no, I was stupid. I was acting stupid. I
You was
wasn't gonna lie.
gonna
I was
go.
acting stupid. Listen,
You might
I was acting
like,
stupid. And mind you, this is a seventh grader. This is a seventh grader. You know what I'm saying? I'm 46. This is a seventh grader. He's like, but at the same
like the
time,
shoes.
I know what I'm doing as well because I know that's part of the culture. That's part of the culture. I'm acknowledging him, and I'm also giving him that space to shine.
Yeah,
And
it's
a
a
lot of our kids
handshake.
don't have that. And again, it's fun. My AP, who's also sneakerhead, my new AP, who's also sneakerhead, said, he wore those because of you. I'm not. I know that, and I recognize that, and that's for me is a lot. It puts a lot more intentionality about how I walk into that space because it's a mutual thing. Often as leaders, we walk into spaces and we're thinking we're the boss, so you gotta do what I do. You gotta follow my instructions. Like no, you're building community, you're building culture here. But he's gonna go around and be an ambassador for the way I made him feel, and tell other kids. And then it's up to me to let that permeate across the school. But real quick before we move forward, I want to give a quick shout out to the lead attorney. Man, I don't know. This brother right here, he just put a comment on here. This brother right here is doing incredible work. Incredible work. Your site is amazing, bro, and much love to you, man. Thank you so much for the salute. You know, Archie, you should check out you should check out his YouTube channel. It's dope. Fire.
I'm definitely checking it out, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been a bit of a technology. Well, I don't want to say technology hermit because I'm up on all the new technologies. I've been a bit of a social media
Social
hermit.
media.
So my brother Larry pulled me back out here. He pulled me back because I'm just like I don't know. It's too much gangsterism on social media and DMs and all. I'm one of them people that if I got something to say to you, I don't have a problem saying to your face. If it's 100 people there, I don't have a problem. If I said it, I said it. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I don't hide anything. If it's offensive,
Facts.
okay, let's have a conversation and let's figure out how we can, move forward. But like, I'm not one of those folks that hide behind fake walls or all that stuff. Like, nah, like I pull up. It's not pull up on you for some malicious, but I pull up on you, man. Let's sit down and have a drink, have a cigar, and figure this out, right? Or let's talk, man. Or let's like so that's just never been my style. But I'm trying to get out of my hermit because people like, where can we find you? I'm like, I'm not on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, but I'm thinking about it. We'll see. But no, I definitely checked the brother's channel out because I'm always curious about great work that folks are doing in different places. I see my 1-year-old just showed up.
You're like, I want
We're
to be on the
filming at a
show.
different time. But yeah, just getting back to like the stickers, like again, that's a handshake, right? And is it Maya Angelou to say it like folks might not necessarily remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel. You made him feel like a king, man. That was the ultimate welcome that you could do for him. And what he did for you was, I'm gonna come back and shake your hand. Right. I
But
appreciate you showing up at our school and not trying to be this person who doesn't see us and value us in the South Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. Shit happens, right? My wife is from the Bronx, right? So I love the BX. Shout out to all my people that Frank Soup Bowl. Oh my God, the oxtail. That's the reason I'm fat now. The oxtails and Frank Soup Bowl. Up there at Kingston Bakery up on White Plains Road. Oh my God, the fresh patties with the cocoa bread and the juice they serving up there. When the good cook, I mean,
I
the
had
fat
never,
food.
bro. I had never heard of. I knew what beef patties. I knew what patties were. I had never heard of patties and cocoa bread till I came to the Bronx.
Oh
I
yeah,
was like, "What is this
yeah.
carb deliciousness?"
Yes, it is full of carbs, but I'm finna tell you, up there where the 4, 5, and 6 run out, it's a lady used to serve the peanut porridge and the banana porridge. Oh my! And I know y'all like, oh, porridge is po folk food. Whatever, is delicious, right? So no, I got love for the Bronx back and forth, right? Uh, and I'm just saying, like, people sometimes want to come in environments and not recognize and see people and acknowledge that I have a culture too. Like, my sneaker game matters. And like when you showed that love, of course, he went and said, I'm gonna get something that hadn't been creased up, and I'm gonna take this opportunity to show my new principle, and I'm gonna crease it up. And the way you made me feel, I'm gonna carry that to other students. Like, nah, this dude all right here. Right, let's give him a shot. Let's give him a chance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because hey, when he walked in, you said, "Ooh, I know you didn't." Right? I don't wipe the kid's shoes off before. like did you just come in here with the Spider-Man origin story? Like, I got to wipe your shoes off because yeah, you hurt my feelings. You hurt my feelings, but in a great way, because I'm boy, that's something that. So I think you also just hit on the have fun with your kids. Love the kids. I think we were talking to pre-broadcast about, yeah, you want to teach them to respect you and respect them, and you want to be like, yeah, but it all is rooted in love. If you start out by loving your kids and showing that love, they're going to love you like in the best type of ways. I don't care what type of school it is. I don't care what the reputation is. I don't care how broken supposedly the kid is. Like, if you lead with love and actually see them, like, you're gonna build great relationships, and it'll change circumstances, right? Real fast. I don't know. I just again, I get tired of people going in places and automatically dismissing everything about especially black boys, like children of color, but especially black boys, dismissing everything about their culture. Right? Yeah, you got to learn how to put your khakis on and your blue blazers to play that game. You have to learn how to conduct yourself in the boardroom. But make no mistake about it, ain't nothing wrong with rocking your 11 gamos and, what I'm saying, coming up in the barbershop. What's going on? What's going on, man? And, ain't nothing wrong with, like, ain't nothing wrong. Nothing's wrong with your culture at all, right? It's your culture. And I understand we have to play and we have to dabble in the world of the dominant culture and Western thinking and European. Like, that's cool too, right? And I'm not dismissing and saying anyone else's culture is bad, but I'm just saying, like, stop trying to eradicate and strip these children and black boys in particular of their culture. It matters.
I
And if
got
you
I
ain't
got to
got a
share this real quick
get your
as
sneaker
we're
game.
talking. Have you seen this one yet? Have you read this one yet?
Nope.
Ratchetdemics, Christopher Emdin's latest book. Okay, again, look at it. Rather than academics, it's ratchetdemics. And what he's saying is exactly what we're saying here. Honoring the culture of the children of the community that you're working in, and understanding that there's a brilliance that already exists in that space that might not be a Western, understanding of what intelligence and giftings are. So, like, again, me coming into a space, the way I come into a space is in honor of who I am and where I come from. Nigerian, Inglewood, California, the hood, the village, all in that together, and understanding that my kids also, like where I'm at right now, there's a gang of kids from, I've never seen this many kids from Honduras, mad kids from Honduras, you know what I'm saying? Garifuna kids, they look just like me, but they're Afro-Latino and all these other things. And now I'm like, I got to dig deep into their culture and understand that space as well. Because again, if I honor them and make sure we're teaching from their cultural intelligence and who they are, guess what happens? You open a space to really elevate their thinking, really elevate their learning. And too many times, school leaders and teachers are forcing kids to see the world from just one lens, from this Eurocentric Western lens, and the kids. It's not that they don't want to learn; they don't understand it, but that's not who they are. It's like you're trying to teach a tiger to be a lion. Yes, they look the same, but they're not the same.
Yeah.
Okay, the lion. It's a funny thing I tell people: the lion is not the king of the jungle. Lions don't live in the jungle. Tigers live in the jungle. Two different spaces, so they have to be very, very different. A tiger is a solitary animal. They don't run. They don't run in prides, but lions do. But we're trying to force one thing to be something else, and then we wonder why our kids' math scores are not as high. Their reading scores are not as high, but we're not reaching them from where we're not reaching them. Not about where they're at. We're not reaching them as who they are. The brilliance and the culture behind that. So, whether it's sneakers, whether it's music, whatever it is, we have to educate ourselves in these spaces, and then also bring ourselves authentically into those spaces and respect those spaces.
Right, and that's what I mean by like people that are. I'm at the National Teacher of the Year gala in DC a couple weeks ago, and I got my tux on, but I had my Jordan ones on, black and white with the red stripe, right? And I was perfectly comfortable and okay. Some people were like, "Oh, that's what we doing," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we doing." And
I
then
would do that.
they saw another brother who was one of the Teacher of the Year candidates. He had on like, and I think that fear to revel in blackness and in anything black culture. And again, I think I've probably been there, right? People send me to Exeter. Let me try and figure out this Wall Street culture. Send me to Grinnell. Send me to Columbia. Do like figure out. Well, ain't nobody send me there. I had to figure out how to get there because that's a whole different story. We might want to talk about my origin story one of those times. But like I'm saying, like you learn all this cultural capital, you learn how to assimilate and try and mimic certain things, and then I think it's always a point that you reach and you just realize kind of what James Baldwin. Remember that show where we were unpacking James Baldwin quotes, but essentially saying that to be a Negro in America is to be in a state of almost constant rage because you realize that yep, you can wear your little Oxford bros, you can put on your Brooks Brothers suits and stuff. I one time I love a good Brooks Brothers suit, throw on my bow tie. I like my
Yeah,
cufflinks
God
and
knows
all
I
that
do
stuff.
too.
And people still think I'm trying to rob them in a Brooks Brothers suit. I've told that story a bunch of times, but like, what are you like? I'm in a tan Brooks Brothers suit with a pink shirt on and a bow tie, and literally, I had a white woman run, not just she gripped like monkey gripped her
Monkey
purse,
grip.
gorilla gripped. I started to say kung fu monkey grip, but apparently I've been told that that's not like it. But I'm just like, who am I offending with kung fu monkey grip? Like, it's people of all kinds that do kung fu. But if you just think that kung fu is a mono or mixed martial arts, is certain mixed martial arts are monolithic, you are absolutely mistaken in every shape, form, or fashion. And shout out to a man who passed out passed away a couple years ago, Dr. Ernest Hyman, who ran the Harlem Karate, I think, Institute for years, or one of the grand champions so far off the scales with a brother. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, I've been run from. She gripped up her and ran from me. I'm not robbing anybody, so I'm just like, you know what? I might as well wear my Jordans. What is it like? Like, wear some Jordans with the pink in it to go with the pink shirt. Like, why not? Like, if all of my culture capital, my little Ivy League degrees, my little knowing how to talk and knowing how to sit up and round my vowels and do all the like, it matters, and like, it doesn't matter one iota, right? because some people are gonna see my cocoa skin, my bald head, my beard, and hear the bass in my voice, and see me, and it doesn't matter what clown suit I have on, right?
Facts.
My blackness is going to lead. And if that's the case, I might as well be comfortable and revel in my blackness and enjoy it. And that don't mean I'm gonna be like ratchet and hood ratty. Like, I know how to go into a meeting. I know how to conduct myself. I know how to move in different circles. And again, I, my sneakers is not even a protest for me at this point. It's a comfort thing, but then also it's just a connecting and a reminder thing that if you're worried about, if I'm in a meeting or I'm at a gala or something, if my sneakers are really bothering you, you need to ask yourself, like, have you actually had a conversation with me? Right? Like, I just, I don't know. I'm just kind of at that point where I'm almost done with people dismissing, um, our own people dismissing our culture as inferior and trying to break our children from being connected to any facet of our culture in the name of, what is that, black excellence politics. So Master P is black excellence in the same way that, our black superintendents are black excellence, right?
Can we dig deep into that? Because this is one of the things that I think a lot of people wonder about, but no one really talks about. Because there's this fraternal order. It's unofficial within education. This whole notion of the black intelligentsia, and every community, like, listen, from Atlanta to LA to New York City to Baltimore,
Yeah.
you have, and listen, again, I'm not passing judgment on anybody, but I love my bow ties. I got 60 of them. I can match a bow tie with a sneaker, and that's what I usually do when I rock a bow tie, is matching my sneakers. I love a good suit. But however, when the suit itself and the bow ties and the pantsuits, whatever, represents a an image that says we are the gatekeepers of what education should look like in our community. You know, like, it's interesting because, like, I'm definitely not part of that black. I don't fit in. I've seen these cats, and wherever I go to conference, I see them. The way they move, and I'm like, but what are you doing in all reality? Because in your communities in Detroit, I went to the Cosby conference, and listen again. I'm just saying what I saw. You see all these folks, they're beautiful head to toe, and they're whatever, but you're running schools that are failing, in systems that are trash.
Because they're
And
it's I mean it's a to me it's a fear game, right? You are trying to broadcast a particular image that is not real. It doesn't work, right? At what point in time has a full embracement of that image, and I'm trying to figure out a way to describe, like, that black intelligence, like, that image actually been really successful? Maybe within folks with money, but you're trying to go into communities and tell them literally that everything about, and that's the reason I got in conflict with, I'm just gonna call it, I got in conflict with Kip when I was in the Delta, because, like, I'm not up for telling students and families that everything about them and the way they live and their life and their culture is wrong, and you should try and look like this, talk like this, be like this, eat this, study this way. I think it is a fear of being othered. But this crazy thing is, you're already othered.
yeah,
You ever seen these people walk, black, white, it don't matter, walking down the street with damn dogs? in these, Gucci outfits and little outfits. Like, you know how silly that shit looks? Like, I'm saying, like, when people have like Gucci Gucci slippers on the dog, the
Yeah.
vest,
Yeah,
and
New
all
York
that. Like,
City.
like, let me say, you have a husky who's designed to have pads that allow them to run on sub-zero temperature grounds. Like, they have fur, or underlay of fur. Like, it is so silly dressing up something that is naturally designed to be able to not only handle but exceed that. And you actually make them weaker by putting those little Gucci slippers on a damn dog, because now when they actually get out and do what they're supposed to do, what they're designed to do, they
They won't
need
be able to.
they're handicapped. They need crutches, right? To do so. My thing is, again, when people come, I just don't subscribe to, and it doesn't mean you cannot be excellent. It doesn't mean that you cannot be yourself and enjoy. If you're an equestrian, like, if you love like the horse, like, it doesn't mean you can't be black and into synchronized swimming. Like, we're not a monolithic people. Like, we love some of everything, but just be yourself. Do you. Like, one of the reasons I love Serena Williams is because she did tennis. Her and Venus, they did it their way. From the beads to the outfit, they never played anybody else's game, and you can't deny their excellence. Like, I
What about winning the Grand Slam, like then crip walking to put a stamp on it?
to put a stamp on it. Like, my thing is, I understand that, Beyonce did all the stuff at the Super Bowl with it, but she waited until, like, she was really Beyonce. Like, my thing is, people that walk like they talk like they know that they're the shit, and they walk in their black excellence from day one. It ain't nothing wrong with it, because, like, Beyonce is Beyonce now, and I know the Beehive gonna be stinging, but I'm saying, like, in the Super Bowl, it was an amazing performance, but she would have never done that early in her career.
No.
Right? Some athletes would have never done certain stuff early in their career. Right? They don't want to get Kaepernick. Man, Serena and them said, listen, if force force me off of my high horse. Beat
Yeah.
me. Like, she put in the, now it's gonna take some work. And I think that, again, and I've been in environments, we've been at teachers college when people have tried to force me off of my, I'm like, prove me wrong. I don't care about being wrong. Because if I'm wrong and you're right, all that means is kids win. Right? I don't care about being wrong. Like, that's a learning opportunity for me. I'm never wrong because I'm still learning, right? But you've been in environments where people think that sometimes, but Archie's not afraid. He just say, no, it's not that I ain't afraid of nothing. It's like I recognize what it is. Again, I've been in the corners of Ivy League institutions and Phillips Exeter Academy, and I've been in all these corners, where the same grotesque things have been whispered about us. And whether you say them aloud, or whether you whisper them, or whether you wait till you get to the confines of your home, it's the same to me. Right? So I'm just like, why wouldn't I just be my whole self? And yeah, sometimes it costs me. I'm pretty sure it cost me a job or two, whatever. The job wasn't meant for me, right? And sometimes it costs. Sometimes it costs you a friend or two. People don't want to be around you because they're like, oh no, he'll just put it out there. Yeah, I will. Why? So what if they don't want to hire me at this school? It's actually their loss, right? But I'm not gonna come into your school and teach or principle wrong. I'm not gonna come into a school and environment and dismiss the local culture. You know, as soon as you said South Bronx, I lit up like, yo, I love the BX.
Listen,
I started talking about the Super Bowl. Somebody over here was like, yo, what you know about Frank Super Bowl? And listen, Friday night when the Oxtail Man cooking, or when you go to Richie Rich, it used to be a fat Jamaican cooking. You know, ain't a whole bunch of just fat Jamaican dudes like that out there. You know what I'm saying? But yo, when he was there, oh, the line was at the door, not door, for my people that I said door, right?
the dough.
I'm just saying, like it's okay, and I can go lead the Super Bowl and go back to class, and I can have a full-on intellectual discussion in my J's and be okay with it. Some people feel like, oh, you have to represent our community in a particular way as to ensure that you don't delegitimize our intellect.
And when
Okay.
we're doing that, we're not representing for ourselves. We're
Right.
we're 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 constructing an image to impress someone else who has no teeth in the game for what's happening within our own community. And that's the thing that really has me just not understanding the whole Black intelligentsia movement, or if it is a movement. But
It's the
it's just
same
strange to me.
old Jack and Jill. It's the same old Jack and Jill mess. Same old this that like the same. Like, when I first got to Baltimore, I remember some of these Jack and Jill Negroes with a capital N. I'm gonna give them a just do with a capital N. We've been called so many things over so many years. I'm not gonna go through the full list, but Negroes is one of them with a capital N. Mm, you want me to go through the list? Hit it, hit it. Oh, we've been called colored with a capital C, colored with a little C, Negro with a big N, Negro with a little N. We've been called spooks, monkeys. We've been called Afro American, African Americans. We've been called niggers. We've been called niggers. We've been called negroids. We've been called mulattoes, mongoloids. But we've been called a whole lot of stuff,
My favorite
right?
one is Octoroon. That's my favorite one. Like, I'm
Octoroon.
just
How do
like,
you
who just came up with that? Was just like you said. We're just gonna give it a mathematical value.
I mean,
Octo.
like, and some people are still worried about us, but I'm saying, like, some of these bourgeoisie Negroes literally said, "Why do you work with those kids?
I hear that all the time.
Why, like these are black folks. Why do you work with their kids? You can work with like your credentials and your blah 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 blah, like, as if we're so different." Like as if you didn't come from the projects yourself. How you come from the projects and you get so? And I understand because I ain't going back to poverty situation. I'm gonna tell you that right now because poverty make you real crazy, right? But how you come from the projects and you up here? You've gotten so high and mighty that you have the nerve to fix your mouth to say, "Why do you work with their children?" As if that mom who's struggling wasn't your mom. You know what I'm saying? It just baffles me. And then people that latch onto it and go along with it and don't open their mouth and say, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, as much as I respect you and your children, children here also need a shot, also need a chance, also need good educators. And like, why are you othering them? Because your kids listen to the same music. They do the same things. They trying to knock down the same young ladies, like boys, whichever. It just amazes me when people other their own folks, as if we don't get it done, as if we don't get othered enough. So I'm just, I've been done with it for a while. I get put out of churches. I get like if you ain't got put out of a church, you really hadn't ticked folks off. Yeah, I got what's that church on a hundred and is it 130?
Abyssinia?
No, not Abyssinia. No,
Oh,
they
I'm about to
they
say you got kicked out
they
of
asked me to
Abyssinia.
fill out an application, so that was out. Yeah, that was like fill out an
Yeah,
application. I'm like,
they had
what?
to do they had to do a
To save my
background check,
soul?
background
Yeah,
check
do a
first.
background check to save my soul. I did the background check. Oh, you went to Columbia and stuff. Oh, you're director of the what you got? Oh yeah. No, it's the church on 145th over there on Sugar Hill, 145th. They known for their music. I can't remember. But I used to go up and I used to sit in the balcony because I used to go to church in t-shirt. I'd be in work in suits and stuff every day. So I'm like in t-shirt and jeans and just kind of chilling. And it went to somebody recognize me. They were like, "Oh, that was Mr. Tyson. He was at a fundraiser the other night for songs." I was like, "Oh, well, that was." And then I'm all of a sudden invited to come down, and I was like, "Why is that like y'all was treating me like I was just the dude who just came in off of the street a minute ago. What changed?" Because somebody said, "Oh, that's Mr. Tyson from some." Like no, like why are you treating your own folks like that? I always say I got step cousin syndrome. I treat everybody like they're my family unless I find some reason that I shouldn't. And I don't know. I just can't subscribe and give in to people. What did Dr. Derek Nelson say? The not when our it's bad enough that so many white people don't see our children as children, and our children's childhood is, as Dr. Derek Nelson says, uh, unimagined and unimaginable. Right? He was specifically talking about Black boyhood when he said that. It's a great article. I wish I had it on my computer. I dropped it in the chat. But when our own people don't see our children, and specifically our Black boys' childhood as they see it like as unimagined, unimaginable. Like that's just so problematic for me because they don't understand that you didn't reach out and dap that boy's hand with the Jordans, but you could see his childhood was imagined, right? And it was imaginable for you. And for that reason, you recognize the handshake that was about to happen. And when it happened the next day with those gammas, like he didn't have to go and say and write a whole dissertation, but it was a handshake and a bond that was made because you saw my childhood, you saw me, you saw my culture, and you respected that. And not just respected it, and you weren't just loyal to it. This is the most important part, and I'm gonna shut up. You loved it.
Facts.
You loved it, bro.
I love you
for that, man. It's so many people that
that's what we do. That's what we do.
Just like love, like not like play, like they want respect and they want to live, but not taking the time to love their kids and community and not just talk about it, but show it in a way without saying it. So I just, hey, all accolades going your way, man.
No, I appreciate that. So we have a few more minutes left, but I just want to add one thing. I think it's hilarious that listening to you, something came to mind. I know you heard about the documentary about Freaknik that was coming out. Everybody was in uproar.
Don't do this.
Again, one more thing about the Black intelligentsia. Those of y'all who are in your suits and your bow ties and your pantsuits and your hair's did, your nails are did, and now you got a PhD, a EDD, or a JD, or MD. And right at the same time I was in college with y'all, y'all were out there freaking out, and now you're terrified about a documentary because there's a good chance that your butt is going to be in that video in the background while it's out.
I was a little too young. I don't want no part of this conversation because I don't want to see. I grew up in a pre-social media, pre-camera phone,
But the funny thing there were no camera phones back then.
It was camcorders.
But you know what it was? It was those videotapes where people were recording those camcorders, making those, and that was the original social media if you think about it. But I think it's interesting that these same people, but there have been a couple of people who are actually suing, saying this will ruin my career. But my thing is this: first of all, whatever happened, listen, I get it. You got to protect yourself financially. You're a CEO of a company. You're a lawyer, or a doctor. You're married. You got children. You don't want your children to see what you were doing. But however, it's a lot to be said about the fact that the freakiness and the nastiness to the side, the culture that you were immersed in, you demonize now for the kids who are coming up in that same culture. Which I think is bothersome because at the end of the day, what's the difference?
Stop being nice. It's not bothersome. It's just completely it's utter hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy, yes.
It is utter hypocrisy. It is utter foolishness that you want to cut kids' head off, and if any of that foolishness you did comes to light, like you made what they doing right now look like a walk in the park. Because I'm
Walking apart.
finna tell you something. I don't ever, and I ain't participating on Freak News. I was too young. But if I was of age then, I would have been there. That you can bet your bottom dollar on. And I participated in a few festivals during my day, and I've done more than a few Mardi Gras and Capitol Michael's Weekend, and shout out to the Players Ball that used to be in Statesboro, Georgia, and all. Don't nobody want all that. Like it was when somebody asked you what you was up to. I was young and dumb.
Dumb.
And none of that was ever supposed to be for put. Now these kids post stuff these days. They post
Yes.
everything they do. They stream illegal crimes on there, which is crazy. I'm just like, why would you like this is illegal activity? I'm not stream, but none of that is ever supposed to have been on social media. It's not for public consumption. Like some of our wives may have been involved in some food. I don't want to know what my wife was up to in college. That's her business. Like, yeah, you don't want somebody body count be crazy, but like, listen, don't like pre iPhone, because this iPhones came 05, right? There was 05, 06, but pre iPhone. None of this stuff is for public consumption. I was just laughing with my wife the other day about some of our high school rituals that we had for homecoming that everybody participated in. Like, no. Some of these pictures, it's like Jerry Jones being out there at the protest with the Little Rock schools. That wasn't for public consumption. Now, what right or wrong, like you can't hold people accountable for stuff they did when they were chilling. If you want to hold me accountable for stuff I did 20, 25 years ago, bro, we got problems.
And I
I
agree with
mean,
you.
and
People
not
should not
saying
be
I
held.
did anything
Yeah.
illegal, but I'm just saying, like, you children, and my children, I mean, like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, even 25-year-olds for that matter. Like, you still thinking, you're not thinking, you're not worried about tax brackets. You don't have adult concerns with mortgages and insurance, and you're not worried about blood pressure and all that foolishness. I'm just saying, you're not thinking about adult concerns at that age. So I'm just like, holding folks accountable, that's a problem. Now,
Yeah.
I'll say this because I know we got to go. Where I do think there should have been some accountability is on that old lady that assured that Emmett Till was murdered, who just passed away. And yeah, uh, all this time, like that's still an utter shame to be, and speaks to where we're at in this country. But there should be figure out some accountability there. I don't care if it's stripping her folks of their land and reimbursing Emmett Till family, yada yada yada. But we're talking about Freaknik. Well,
All I'm saying is this:
mm.
when just be careful, because the world we live in right now, anything that's ever been recorded, digitized, whatever the case is, it will exist forever. And the thing is this: when it's very hard for our children now, because they have access. So when we try to make them be a certain way, and we're not willing to really elaborate and share with them, we don't have to go into details about the wrongs that we did, but at least give them that understanding of like, okay, listen, you're going through a phase, like I went through a phase. But when you come into a space and you are holier than thou and you are perfection, you're perfection, then this one becomes a problem. Because I have no problem. I'm not gonna share with kids all my dumb stuff that I did, but I do share with them certain things that within reason. Like, listen, I made this mistake that could have ruined everything for me, and I'm okay sharing it because you need to hear this, because a lot of us have done those things, have told those lines, but we were fortunate. But I tell kids all the time, The things that I did that was super ignorant that kind of had me locked up, I share this with you because it was only by God's grace and then the love and protection of adults around me who yanked me by my neck fat and said, "What are you doing?" You know what I'm
Neck meat.
saying? Neck meat.
Yes,
for me being a 210-pound fullback, it was my neck fat. They pulled that joke back. Was like, listen, you you don't do that. And I tell them all the time. So when I try to correct you or step in the gap for you, is with love because I know if somebody hadn't done that for me, I wouldn't be here right now. And I implore those school leaders and those teachers out there, think about how you approach kids because a lot of times they're watching you, and the smart ones are researching you.
oh yeah.
You know, the smart ones, listen, if they know how to spell and go on Google, they're researching you.
Hell
And
yeah.
you have to be ready for that in that space.
Oh
And
yeah.
not be like, oh my God, how dare this happen? No, the world is constantly being recorded.
I think
So
that's words of wisdom, but that does not negate the fact that yeah, when that documentary come out, if it comes out,
it's gonna come out. I'm sorry. Listen, if there's money to be made, it's gonna come out.
bruh,
And the
bruh.
thing is this, those tapes exist. Because I remember when I was in college, I never went. I was never
Oh
fortunate
yeah.
enough to go to Freaknik. I just didn't have my money with the way my bank account was set up, my checking and savings account at that time. There was no way I was making it out there. But I know for a fact a lot of that information was
Oh, those tapes
was on
exist. I
TV.
mean, it ain't just
Those tapes,
Freaknik. It ain't just Freaknik. I mean, you can take any Mardi Gras, you can take Black Bikers Week, and
Black
uh,
Bikers Week too. Yeah,
like you could take Kapalua, you could take the Mardi Gras in Mobile, you could take any like it's gonna be
the Caribbean Day Parade
oh
in
yeah, West
Brooklyn.
Indian Day
It
Parade.
was, yeah,
Oh
West
man.
Indian.
You can take Summer 13 in Mount Vernon. Anyway, we ain't gonna get into all that. But I'm saying
Stupid.
like tapes like you know I don't I'm not big on I hold you accountable for where you are now, the work that you are doing now. And I'm not saying that if someone was a Nazi, like not to go like that's we're in a different category. Someone was a little mass murderer and then they decided that's a different category. But I'm saying like I'm holding you accountable for where you are now, what you're doing now, how you're treating people now in this space. And again, I always say don't forget who you are. Right? If you were engaging in some foolish stuff, I did. A lot of folks did, right? Be honest with yourself, right? Be honest with how you felt, what things were done to you, how what things were happening around you, and how you can do things differently when you're in the seat. And that's what I always said when I'm principal, or I'm here, or I'm there, I'm gonna do things differently. Like I don't just throw kids. Like I bumped into someone in the mall the other day, and they were like, they just appreciate the fact that I didn't just throw kids out of school for foolishness, right? I'm not gonna get in trouble for this, but no, I'm not tossing you out of school for this knife. I know what neighborhood you live in. I know why you have it. No, you can't have like, but I'm not derailing your whole life because you got to walk home from school. And none of these adults in this building are willing to walk through your neighborhood when it's getting dark. But you got to do it with your little brother or your little sister. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You gotta hide your J's in your backpack and throw on some raggedy sneakers and try and, pretend like, what I'm saying? Like it's just again, stop holding people to standards that you weren't held to or you weren't like, no, push them to be great, but push them to also love themselves. And if you love them instead of trying to again eradicate the fabric of their being. If you really love who they are, like they will love you and they will do better. I guarantee you they will do better. They will walk through walls for you. They will walk through mountains. They will learn. Kids that don't know how to read will learn how to read because you want them to read. And here's my prediction. Your school is going to just take off and continue to accelerate. Why? Because again, you're coming in from a position of love, and kids are seeing that like, nah, you're not coming in to reform, but you're coming in to help them reclaim, right, their greatness. They were born great. They may have some of them may have lost their way on their academics. I'm trying to help you reclaim that, right? Don't
Amen.
tell me you don't. Don't tell me you don't know how to count. Because absolutely, if I bring these stacks of money in front, like so yeah. So I'll leave on that. I don't even know if I have my quote for the week. I normally have. I don't know. I'm looking at Cornell West. I'm looking at Angela Davis. I was looking at Poet IE. But I don't know. I don't know if maybe I'll stick with a Young Dolph one. Preach. It's preach.
Preach. So again, thank you everybody who were here. Um, actually, there was a little shout out here. It said from Red Eats World. It says Musa says hi. Musa's my son, and so son, I don't know if you understood anything that happened doing this, but this is for you because you are the future. Our sons, our daughters as well. But I really do worry about our sons because at the end of the day, again, the manliness, these are the cornerstone of our community. We need to redevelop our young men to be stronger and move in the path so that everyone can eat and everybody could do well. I appreciate you, brother. And till next time, any parting words? That's it.
Hey, I feel like with so much to cover, I think we drilled in on what needed to be drilled in today. So again, I appreciate you leading with love, and I appreciate the work that you're doing, and I can't wait to actually come up and visit your school. I might break out a
Oh
little.
yeah, we should do. Yeah, of course. Do a learning walk, and we record it too.
Yeah, they're
We
gonna be
should do
like,
that.
they're
Record
like,
it. You know what I'm saying?
they're like, yo, friends coming up here and stuff too. Like, oh yeah.
And listen,
So
I'll say this: I plan to have a lot of visitors in the school, a lot of people, a lot of experts, and you are an expert. You've done incredible work from the Mississippi Delta, Arkansas, here in New York City. It's funny, people. I still meet people who know you, people who were like, "Wait a minute, Boys Club? Oh, you know Mr. Tyson?" I'm like, "Bro, that's years ago." You
yes,
left
yes.
that's why I said illustrious. You left a thumbprint in that community that people still talk about to this day. And you're not even from New York. You know, you walked in from outside from another world that came in here and literally left an imprint. So it's interesting. I meet people and they're like, and as soon as they mention the Boys Club, I'm like, oh, my partner. They were like, who? Art. Before I say Art, they're like, Mr. Tyson. I'm like, oh snap, okay,
Oh, we had so much fun in them places, man.
man.
It's unbelievable there. Um, I miss New York. I just don't miss paying out taxes, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, peace, y'all, and we'll be back real soon. And much love. Have an amazing week, and we'll talk to y'all.
Be well.